During this, they discovered some, we'll call unique things about Linda. She had been responsible for several deaths of wealthy individuals. Weird. Yeah. Not a lot of impoverished people were dying in her care.
Of course.
Oddly, several of them had signed over large portions, if not all of their estates to her.
Of course they had.
This is cult leader shit. Dude, she's a cult leader.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
I feel like we should play cult bingo too. This story has it all.
That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
I was just singing the final countdown, just because I was getting ready. I got nothing. Just getting hyped.
It was the final countdown. We have a 5-second countdown. So, yeah. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is That's So Fucked Up, a comedy podcast about cults, murder, true crime, and other things that make you say, ugh, that is so fucked up. Ayo.
Whoop.
We are your hosts. I'm Ashley Love Richards.
And I'm Fallon Morey.
I nailed it. I did the new tagline. I got it right.
You did.
Nailed it.
You did a couple extras this time. Cults, true crime.
Well, I said cults, murder, and true crime.
I think before we were just saying cults and crime.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I close to nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, we can always expand that definition.
Yeah. Whatever. We do what we want.
It was good.
So, hey, guys. Today we are talking about Linda Laura Hazzard, a.k.a. the Starvation Doctor.
Ew.
Have you heard of her?
No. Is it as bad as it sounds?
Yes.
What? And her last name is Hazard?
I know, right?
That's not real.
Well, this story it's almost unbelievable. This quote, Dr. Hazzard was an American con woman and serial killer who killed at least 15 people with her promotion of fasting and hour-long enemas as treatments to basically anything that could be wrong with you.
And if you can't see my face right now, my eyes are nearly watering in disgust of everything you just said. I'm sure it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, so are you excited?
Have you ever noticed how as soon as somebody becomes a serial killer in like the pop culture lexicon, they're always 3 names, except for like Ted Bundy, right? Like so many people become like 3 names.
Yeah.
Like I don't walk around going, I'm Fallon Newton Morey, Nobody goes by all 3 of their names all the time.
Well, that's funny because I kind of do.
But you are not a serial killer.
Am I? I mean, how well do you really ever know anyone, Fallon?
Don't say that or I'm never going on another retreat with you.
Who are you sleeping next to at night, you guys? Just question it. All I'm saying is keep one eye open. You never know. Sure, BTK's wife thought he was a pretty nice dude, too.
She did. Next time we go on a retreat, I am sleeping with my door locked based on what you just said.
Oh my gosh. By the way, you guys, we do a yearly retreat for the team. We have editors and we have researchers. Shout out to our fucking editors and researchers.
Woo.
And oh my gosh, it's almost our 4-year anniversary.
Wow.
Hi, yay. And we just got some social media help. We've got some social media people on board now. I'm so excited. We have this crazy team. It's cuckoo.
Really talented people.
Everybody's so cool. And yeah, so this will be our 3rd annual retreat. The first one was in Colorado at my house. I was like, let's all hope we're not serial killers because we're all going to be sleeping under the same roof.
For real. And y'all go by 3 names? Nope, you can't come.
And then last year in October, we went to Miami, Florida.
Miami.
And I don't know. We're going to have to start tossing around some ideas for this year. Yeah, I really wanted to go see Robert the doll when we were in Miami, but he was in Key West, which was quite a journey. So,
And then my uncle went down there like a week after we were there and saw Robert and posted his picture all over Facebook. And I said, I hope you got permission from him, or at least said thank you for that.
did he?
Nope.
Your uncle is so dumb. Sorry. He is so
cursed.
fucked. Like, what an idiot. I'm so sorry to say that about your uncle, but that's like the craziest shit you could do.
Sorry, Uncle Bill.
You know what, Uncle Bill? You should make better decisions. Like, don't fuck around and find out. I mean, of all the dolls.
With Robert the doll.
Yeah, with Robert the doll.
I was about to say, of all the dolls, Jinx. Yeah, not him.
What's up, Robert? Utmost respect. You guys, if you haven't listened to the Devious Dolls season of That's So Fucked Up Presents, it's a super fun one. Go check it out.
And it was also my first ever time on recording with you. It was like my first time I ever got to be like on the show as a special like treat.
And was that January of last year, huh?
Yeah.
Aw. And we've been making co-host magic for, that means over a year.
No, since like October.
Well, I mean, if you look at the first time we started making co-host love, you know, it's been a while.
Yeah. Little did we know at the time, right?
Little did we know.
Anyway.
Anywho, hey, you know what? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm remembering this. Go to tsfuthepodcast.com/bingo and pull up Murder Bingo. Oh my God. We never fucking remember to tell people that, Fallon.
I'm doing it.
Also, while you're on the website, you can check out our social media, all of our listening platforms. You could look at our About section and see pictures of us if you're like, what do these gals look like? Our Patreon's there, patreon.com/TSFU. Well, that's the website, but you could also just click the link from the website. Ooh, and you can join our Discord there. I updated the link, so it is real and live now.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about fucking Linda. This bitch. You know what? This bitch, I would rather save that for cool bitches. So this cunt, because that's what she is. That's more appropriate.
I knew you were going with the see you next Tuesday.
I love it. I love that word. I think that Americans are big old prudes about it. People from the UK and Australia, shout out peeps, love y'all. They say cunt all the time with wanton abandon, as it should be used, because it's
It's awesome.
exactly fuck cunt. It just feels good in your mouth when you say it, you know?
That's what she said.
I did say that.
All right.
Okay, focus up, Fallon. Come on.
I'm ready.
So Linda, she wasn't born Dr. Hazard. Well, she obviously wasn't born a doctor, but she wasn't born with the last name Hazard. She actually got that later. She was born Linda Laura Burfield on December 18th, 1867.
Oh, way back.
This is a real oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that math. How many years is that?
1867?
Yeah, to now.
133 plus 24, 157.
Wow, this story's 157. Well, I mean, from the time she was born. But that is vintage. So, yeah, here we go. She was born in Carver, Minnesota, and was the oldest of 7 children, born to parents Susanna Neal and Montgomery Burfield. Her first marriage was to an unknown man, and they were married when she was 18 and had 2 children together. However, she did divorce him later on and abandoned her children because she's an awesome lady. This happened in 1898 because she wanted to go pursue her career as a doctor, air quotes, in Minneapolis.
Would you say that in her childhood she suffered abuse or was shy, introverted, or gentle?
Not that I know of. Sorry, Fallon.
Those are questions I ask everyone like when I meet them.
Yeah, you're like, hey, what's up? I'm Fallon. Nice to meet you. What were you like in childhood? Were you like abused or shy?
No.
If you guys are like, what the fuck is she talking about? Go play bingo. Okay.
Sorry. Okay. No ulterior motive. Continue.
So Linda's second marriage was to Samuel Christman Hazard. And she was like, this guy is the titties. He's what's up. He was a West Point graduate.
Ooh.
He had been dishonorably discharged for misappropriating Army funds.
Okay, so not so ooh.
No, not great.
More like ew. Oh, she likes the bad boys.
Yeah, by others, he was considered a drunk, a lecher, and a swindler.
Excellent.
But she was a fucking swindler too. So she was like,
But she had kids already, right?
no, but she abandoned them
Oh, she abandoned them. That's right.
to pursue her medical career. Apparently, Samuel had quite the history. He had been married twice before Linda, but had forgotten to divorce the second lady before going to marry Linda.
Is that something you easily forget? Like, at what point do you have so much going on that you forget to get a divorce?
Whoopsie. You know what? Divorced listeners, let us know if you ever just forgot to get divorced.
I am a divorced listener. I was married before,
Oh, that's right.
and I definitely would not have forgotten to get divorced. Like, it's kind of a big deal. Unless he was racking up like 12 wives and forgot which one he had divorced.
No, it was just the second one. But it was a big deal because he was charged with bigamy and spent 2 years in prison because of it.
Whoa.
Asshole. After he got out, the couple moved to Washington State to start over because Washington had very kind of lax rules around practitioners of alternative medicine. So that's where they were off to. So they went to Seattle. Linda had no actual medical degree. She was just like, I'm a doctor. Remember that documentary we talked about, Savior Complex?
Yes. About the woman who started the clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she used the Bible scripture. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Which is a terrible and scary thing to go by. Because she was like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm a doctor. And you know what, you guys? No. I just feel like I have ADHD, and it's been confirmed by about a dozen of my friends that I very much most likely do. So I just go ahead and say, I have ADHD. I would never tell you that I feel like a fucking astronaut and just try to go hop into a spaceship.
Right. You saying you have ADHD doesn't mean you're going to go perform brain surgery on someone, right?
I'm like, I just feel like I would be super good at it, Fallon.
It's like Michael Scott going, I declare bankruptcy. Like, you can't just say it.
I am a doctor. Yeah. So she starts working professionally with absolutely no, actual training.
Huh.
She was only allowed to practice because of a loophole. She was technically grandfathered in because of this alternative medicine loophole in Washington. I'm assuming it was kind of like alternative practitioners weren't getting a fair shot
Right.
at doing their shit, so they're like
trying to like give them an in.
Yeah, I mean that's purely speculation, but I don't know. That's kind of what sounds like it made sense to me.
So she sounds like she might have been highly intelligent.
I mean, sure. I don't think you can really be a serial killer and be super stupid, personally.
Okay. I'll take it.
However, Linda did study under one other doctor, a Dr. Edward Hooker Dewey.
I like that name.
3 names, right? Yeah, it's good. It is fun.
It's a good name.
He should just ditch Edward and be Hooker Dewey.
Hooker Dewey. I like it.
Me too. So he was a well-known supporter of fasting, and he invented the no breakfast plan and was author of the Gospel of Health. Linda was a unique lady. She was said to be super wiry, but stronger than the average man, and just kind of fucking out there with her practices, as we will see. Linda develops a fasting method that she believed was a remedy for all types of illnesses, from a toothache to tuberculosis. She claimed to be able to rid the body of toxins that caused imbalances in the body, and she believed that the root of all disease lay in food. Listen, you guys, everything in moderation. A poor diet is bad for you, and it'll catch up to you.
Right.
Hi, my name's Ashley, and I've recently been diagnosed with high cholesterol, and it's very sad. I mean, whatever. You know what? I'm making changes. It's actually fine. It's not that bad. But I mean, I can't eat sugar with wanton abandon anymore.
Right.
Which I'm really into saying today, apparently.
Wanton abandon.
It's just dramatic.
It is dramatic.
But I did used to eat dramatic amounts of sugar. So, we're making changes. The source of all human disease could be attributed to impure blood that was brought on by an impaired digestion, according to Linda. Yeah. Her idea of health was to periodically let the digestive system rest and be cleansed through fasts that lasted multiple days or longer. During these fasts, quote, victims more like, would only receive small servings of vegetable broth. They would also take daily enemas and vigorous massages, but nurses said that sometimes it sounded more like fucking beatings.
Oh.
She was known to hit patients both on the back and forehead while shouting, "Eliminate! Eliminate!"
Whoa. That escalated quickly.
She is a fucking wild card, dude. She wrote 3 books to support and distribute her theory, Fasting for the Cure of Disease, which was published in 1908. She wrote, quote, "Appetite is craving, hunger is desire. Craving is never satisfied, but desire is relieved when want is supplied."
What?
Yeah.
That sounds like word salad. That is garbage right there.
Exactly. Bitch, what are you talking about? Nothing.
Water is the essence of wetness.
Yeah. She then established a sanitarium called Wilderness Heights, located in Olalla, Washington. She had victims fasting for either days, weeks, or months at a time.
Oh.
Their diet was made up of tomato or asparagus juice and occasionally orange juice.
So 2 extremely acidic things, tomato juice and orange juice. And asparagus. Ugh, I don't even like asparagus. I can't imagine juicing it to drink it.
No.
Ugh.
I like asparagus, but
not in that form.
Don't want to drink it as juice. Yeah. The people who did survive her fucking bullshit claimed that they loved it and it worked wonders. But during this time, dozens of people died.
Dozens?
Yes.
Wow.
What did I say at the beginning? 15?
I don't remember.
At least 15, I think I said.
But dozens of people. Wow.
Hold on. Let me double check that stat. Well, okay, here we go. So according to SeattleTerrors.com, in all, about 18 people were confirmed to have died under her care.
Wow.
But it is believed that the true number is closer to as high as 40.
Wow. And they all were coming in for, not to like lose weight, they were coming in for like different illnesses and stuff.
Yes.
Oh.
Because this was a cure-all.
Can you imagine going in and being like, I have a sore leg. I think I bumped it. And she's like, no. What you need to do is starve yourself.
For weeks. Let's go. Yeah. But people read about her shit, her books and stuff. Like I said, she had 3 books. People sought her out for treatment, which is a bummer.
Ugh. So she was an early example of a health guru.
Yes. She was like OG.
She's the OG Dr. Oz.
We've never even heard of her, you know?
No.
It's crazy. I don't remember who suggested this case, if it was a listener or maybe one of the researchers, but good one. Fun stuff. So all these people were dying under Linda's care, but, you know, because Linda was a doctor, she was performing the autopsies and determining the causes of death, which would be like failure of the liver or whatever. But because those were the results of people starving to death.
It looks like this person didn't have enough nutrients to support their body. Imagine that.
Yeah, so she would say all kinds of stuff. You know, she would also make stuff up like cancer and cirrhosis of the liver.
Based on her medical opinion.
Yeah. Those outside of her practice knew what was going on, though. Local residents in the town even called her sanitarium Starvation Heights.
Whoa.
This would be a good haunted house. I wonder if this is a haunted house in this town.
I don't know.
That would be pretty macabre, but
That would be. That's where we need to go for our next retreat. A sanitarium.
Yes. No, I'd be afraid of like who was in there, you know?
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's why we're not going to a sanitarium. We've talked about going to the fucking Conjuring house. Dude, I feel like that should be revisited. That idea.
Yeah.
We are so crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I told my husband, he's like, have fun. Go ahead. I don't want any part of that.
Have a good time with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just got like so giddy. I'm like, yes, that's what we have to do. I'm going to look into it again. Okay. On occasion, local people would come across escapees of her sanitarium looking skeletal and begging for help and food.
Okay, if you're calling the patients that get away from your facility escapees, you are not running a medical practice. Like, I'm sorry, I don't ever go, yeah, I had a doctor appointment this morning, but I escaped around 9:30.
She probably wasn't calling them that.
No, but I mean, if the community at large is calling them that, probably trying to shut it down.
Yeah, that's no good. And, you know, Linda really didn't try to hide what was going on there. If a patient died under her care and was taken for an autopsy elsewhere, it would always come back as starvation being the cause of death. The only time it wouldn't be is if
she did the autopsy.
Yep, you know.
Whoa.
Authorities could put two and two together, but they couldn't really do anything about it because people were, at least initially, putting themselves in her care.
Yeah, willingly going.
Yes. Although I gotta say, when your consent ends of being somewhere, that should absolutely be the end of anybody being anywhere. When they say, I'm done being here now.
Yeah, I don't want to be starved anymore. I want to leave. Once the person goes, no, you can't. Well, that's it. Like now they're officially a prisoner.
Yeah. But, you know, they couldn't do anything about it, which is just, it's always wild to me when there's these situations that authorities just couldn't do anything about. And you're like, how? Sometimes I just like stutter for a second because I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck to say.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we talked about Natalia Grace and she got like bogus aged in court. And then later the authorities were like, oh, we can't do anything. She's 24 or whatever.
And then they couldn't talk about that in court.
Based on what?
They could only try to prove that Christina Michael Barnett had abandoned a disabled dependent.
Yeah.
Not a disabled dependent who was a fucking child.
Right. But yeah, it's based on bogus terms. Like they should have been able to whatever.
You know what's so crazy is that I a lot of times won't really realize content taking a toll on me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're pretty open in the Discord. You guys join the Discord. It's so good. We have a mental health channel. It's so fucking supportive. It's wild.
We have a channel for just about anything you need or want in there.
Yeah. People are just there for you. They're like, can we support you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was talking about how December and January had just been really, really rough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, I was just really struggling, you guys. And actually, That reminds me, we have a new segment starting very soon that I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
It's inspired by the segment that I was doing for a while on YouTube, Ash's Complex Trauma Diary. You know, we talk about all the most fucked up stuff here. We talk about the fucking collective trauma of the world that we're all experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love talking about healing and mental health as well. So once a month, we're going to have some sort of mental health expert on or a creative person, because I believe that everybody is creative in some sort of way and that your soul is slowly dying if you're not creating something.
That was so cheerful until
Your souls are slowly dying. And creating literally is anything. Fucking baking, making a nice meal, doing a yoga practice. It doesn't have to be like you're picking up a fucking paintbrush, which I would never, ever do, because me doing things with my hands, like drawing, painting, sculpting, that's a no, dog. It's not a good look. It's stick figures, you know. I have to find other ways. So you belly dance, you fucking knit and shit. I am going to learn how to sew because I'm going to start sewing my own bathing suits for this photo series that I'm doing of self-portraits. That's bitch, listen. They're inspired by Betty Page and they have a very interesting vibe.
Yeah.
And I think they might be easier.
Oh, there you go.
Look, I'm up for a challenge, okay?
I'm not saying
Rude.
you can't do it. I'm saying it's impressive because it's hard to sew a bathing suit.
Well, I'm going to give it my best shot.
The old college try.
Yeah. So look forward to that. But I said, oh my gosh, you know, I've been struggling. And somebody said, well, you have been covering Natalia Grace and Gypsy Rose like nonstop for a month. And I was like, oh my God.
It's true.
Totally makes sense that could take a toll mentally, because those are heavy stories.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, let's get back into this much lighter story, you know.
Starvation.
So Claire and Dorothy Williamson were wealthy sisters in their early 30s. They were orphaned and had a lot of money. They originally saw an ad about Hazard's book in the Seattle newspaper. And when they ordered her book, they also got a brochure that talked about her Institute of Natural Therapeutics.
Is that the name of the sanitarium?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cute. It's a nice name.
Yeah.
These women weren't really ill to begin with. They had what would now be referred to as health anxiety. However, they had these kind of smaller issues that they felt were hard to live with. Dorothy said that she had swollen glands and rheumatic pains, and Claire had said that she felt that she had a dropped uterus, which, like, how the fuck do you even know that? Like, what?
You just wake up and go, God, my uterus feels real low today.
I can feel it.
Really, really low.
I feel like it's dropped at least an inch.
Oh, wait, sorry. Let me tuck that back up. That's my uterus.
Oh my God. Fallon, your uterus is showing. Ew. Ew, gross.
Might have to edit out my hysterical laughing.
No. Fallon, it's really nice when you audibly laugh at my jokes, actually. It's great.
I could just picture like walking, you know, before you walk into the restaurant, just like sticking your hand up there and tucking it away.
Dude,
I have a very low uterus today.
I'm sorry, but everything that has to do with making babies is so yuck. Like, I mean, not the sex part. I'm not saying sex is yucky. Listen, you guys, it can be a beautiful thing.
But all the body parts involved.
Yeah. Like, bro.
Yeah.
People who are like, oh, birth is so beautiful. It's like,
It is not.
dude, in what world? Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Me and Martin were watching a show the other day and there was a birthing scene and he was like, these are my favorite. I just love a birthing scene in a show or movie.
What they don't show in those are like the 5 times someone that you've never met before comes in the room and like sticks their hands all up in there.
Oh my God.
Just to check on things.
I'm not interested. Thanks, guys. I'm going to get a dog at some point.
I'm here to support anyone who wants scary facts about birth. Let me know.
I am good for the day. Thank you.
Speaking of health anxiety.
Yeah. The Williamson sisters both were believers in alternative medicine, and the second they heard about Linda's treatment, they were determined to be treated by her. They loved the Institute's countryside setting. They imagined horses grazing in nearby fields and fresh local fruits and vegetables and, super cute fucking countryside shit. But no, shit did not go as they thought. They arrived in February of 1911, and the sanitarium in Olalla, with the pastors that they dreamed of, was not yet ready. So they had to set up apartments in Buena Vista instead. So right off the bat, it's like,
janky.
Yeah, so fucking janky. Like, bitch, are you kidding me? From there, they started their diet, which was mostly a thin vegetable broth given twice a day. They were also given hours-long enemas while in the bathtub.
Hours long? Like,
I don't even know. Don't even try to get the deets, okay? Because I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
I didn't look further into it because I didn't feel that I needed to. It doesn't sound good.
No.
The bathtub was said to be covered with canvas supports for when they started fainting during their treatments, because you can only have them pulling shit, for lack of a better word,
Oh, God,
out of you for so long before your body's like, hey, stop taking stuff from me. I'm already starving. Thanks.
Ugh. By the way, I just switched over to Fucked Up Bingo. It's much more better.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listeners. Oh my gosh. Wow. Crazy. So maybe switch to Fucked Up Bingo if Murder Bingo is not working out. Yeah, I can actually totally see how Fucked Up works with this better.
Yeah.
Because there's also so many other fucked up things.
Weird things.
Linda was also getting to know the sisters more personally. She wanted to know about their business affairs, details about their financial situation. You guys don't tell people. She even offered to store their diamond rings and real estate deeds for safekeeping.
How nice of her.
I know, right? So kind. By the time they were transferred to Olalla, they weighed only 70 pounds. Dude.
Oh my God.
How nuts is that?
Whoa.
That's like half of a regular person.
It's less than half of a regular person. Wow.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. That's so gnarly. I cannot imagine how fucking sick you would feel all the time. Just how incredibly ill and awful.
Oh my God.
Right before they sent the sisters off in separate ambulances, they got Claire to sign an important piece of paper. It was a codicil. Yeah, what the fuck's that?
It's like an addendum, I think, basically to like a will.
Okay, like an agreement.
Yeah.
Okay. It left Linda 25 pounds of sterling per year. It also said that if Claire passed under Linda's care, that she wanted to be cremated. Nobody, no proof,
Yeah. Nobody can do an autopsy if you burn the body.
And maybe at this point she was like, I'm starting to look sketchy. Who knows? The sisters were absolutely fucking delirious because they're skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
But family members weren't concerned because they didn't know that the sisters had signed up for the treatment. They didn't think that their family would be very supportive of this radical treatment, so they kept it a secret. But on April 30th, a cryptic telegram asking for a visit was sent to Margaret Conway, a nanny that the sisters had previously had for a long time and really trusted. Listen how crazy this shit is. It's like fucking airplanes didn't exist. A week after she got the telegram, she got on a boat and sailed from fucking Australia to Seattle.
Wow.
I don't honestly know if there's two like further destinations. When I lived in California, I had I want to say a 16-hour time difference with my boyfriend in Australia.
Well, maybe longer if they went to the East Coast.
Wait, could that be real? Could that be real? 16-hour time? No.
I don't know. Where I am is like 12 or 13 hours from Japan when I lived there.
Oh. So one part of Australia, Canberra, is 19 hours ahead of California. So yeah, I think me and my boyfriend had like a 16-hour time difference.
Mhm.
So they were in Washington, which is on the West Coast as well. So literally like could not be further.
Yeah.
And I don't think sailing was super awesome back then. I don't think it was like a fun trip.
No.
So Linda's husband, Sam, met her when the boat docked and took her to Linda's Seattle office. There she was informed that Claire was dead and Dorothy had gone insane. Good stuff.
Is that true, or was she just told that?
Well, Claire was dead.
Oh, Claire was already dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dorothy wasn't insane. She was just insanely emaciated and therefore delirious.
And like this whole time they've been in treatment, they've been on this starvation diet.
Yes.
Wow.
Linda takes Margaret, the nanny, to the mortuary that Claire was held at and showed her body. But Margaret didn't recognize Claire at all and said that it was somebody else's body
Whoa.
because Claire was cremated.
Oh, yeah.
So this bitch is hardcore shiesty pulling tricks. Then she was taken to Dora, who was living alone in a fucking shack of a cabin. At this time, Dora weighed less than 60 fucking pounds.
Oh my God.
She had been too weak to leave or to help her sister.
She must have just been bones with skin over them.
Oh, yeah.
Like no muscle tone. Her body's probably digested all of it by now.
Dude, her bones were sticking out so much that she couldn't even sit down without feeling pain.
Whoa.
She begged Margaret to take her away. However, the next day, she withdrew that statement, claiming that the treatment was working and making her feel better, which is, I'm sure, after a talk with Linda, who is con artist and almost like a cult leader.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of
Like weird worshipers of her method.
Yeah. So Margaret refused to leave and even tried to help as much as she could, attempting to sneak flour and rice into her vegetable broth. At this point, she was only being fed broth made from canned tomatoes,
Ew.
not even tomato water.
Oh.
Margaret was trying to convince her to leave and abandon the treatment, but the patients were usually kept separate from one another. So none of them knew how bad everybody else was doing.
Right.
However, on the 4th of July, they were all let out to have a little celebration together. And during this time, 2 other patients came up to Margaret begging her for help, claiming that they were being held prisoner.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it just walks into this yard full of skeletal people and is
Yeah, and they're like, help. And she's like, I can't. She couldn't do anything to remove Dora or any other patient from the grounds because she was honestly too scared of Linda to stand up to her. Linda's a fucking cult leader, serial killer. Linda ensured that she would have the upper hand, especially when it came to the sisters. She had been appointed the executor of Claire's estate.
Oh my God.
Margaret had even seen Linda wearing some of Claire's clothing.
Oh.
How gross is that, dude? And Dora had signed over guardianship to Linda. So she was expected to spend the rest of her very
Short life.
quickly shortening life with Linda.
Mm.
On top of that, she had also signed over her power of attorney to the Hazards. So they were literally in control of everything related to the Williamson sisters. John Herbert, an uncle of Claire and Dora's, came out to negotiate with the Hazards. He ended up having to pay essentially a fucking ransom, which they called the bill, to allow him to take Dora away.
Whoa.
He was given a bill between $1,000 and $2,000, which is
a lot.
a fuck ton. Well, today that's still a fuck ton to me, but back then it was like a real fuck ton, you know?
Yeah. Ugh. Did they get the other patients out or like shut her down?
I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Luckily, Dorothy was found because she was later able to testify against the Hazards at a trial. Uncle John and the British vice consul started working on more information for a murder trial to avenge Claire.
Ooh.
During this, they discovered some, we'll call unique things about Linda. She had been responsible for several deaths of wealthy individuals. Weird.
Weird.
Yeah. Not a lot of impoverished people were dying in her care.
Of course.
Oddly, several of them had signed over large portions, if not all of their estates to her.
Of course they had.
This is cult leader shit. Dude, she's a cult leader.
Yeah.
Right?
I
I
agree.
feel like we should play cult bingo too. This story has it all.
It does.
Great job, Liz, on this research. And shout out to all of our researchers for just being generally amazing. Okay, so you guys, this is a quick trigger warning for death by suicide. So fast forward a couple minutes or 1 minute if you don't want to hear the following. Eugene Wakelin signed up to be treated under Linda's care, but shot himself during the fasting treatment.
Oh,
Well, that's what was said. It's speculated that the Hazards shot him because they were mad that he wasn't as rich as they thought, coming from a rich family.
ah,
Although, I mean, either one sounds plausible.
right.
That you're suffering so much from starving to death that you're like, yeah, I'm good on this. But I'm sure those fucking shiesty murderers killed him because they were super shiesty murderers. And they don't want to waste their time on people who aren't going to
Make the money.
have a financial payoff, you know?
Right. Of course.
Before that, Linda appointed herself as administrator of his estate and drained all of the funds that she could.
It does sound a little bit like, even though they were going after rich people, it was like rich people that didn't have anyone else. Like those sisters were orphans, but they happened to be rich. And then this guy was like managing his own shit. So like nobody was like looking for his money.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, people came to them. So it's hard to say. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's wild. It's like a fucking horror movie.
it is.
Eugene Wakelin was the only victim of Linda's that was not death by starvation.
Oh, wow.
Although he did get to experience starving before he died. So,
Oh, they say that
yeah.
but it's possible they just were like, okay, he's taking too long to starve to death. So we're going to bump this guy off.
Yeah.
So shady.
There were also several unidentified individuals who were killed earlier in Linda's career. Authorities couldn't do anything about it at the time because she wasn't officially licensed to practice medicine. So they couldn't be like, oh, you're a doctor who's killing people. And knowing her, she probably knew this loophole.
But they could say she's a person who's killing people.
But people that were willingly going to her because she had this cult-like following and people weren't willing to stop their treatment, you know?
Weird.
Also, there were other people who were just too scared of Linda or too weak to leave the premises. Although the health director of Seattle was keeping his eye on her. He claimed that he had his hands tied with adult patients, but if she ever treated children, he could step in. I don't think she did.
Thank God.
Yeah. Although, unfortunately, overall, likely dozens of people died under her care. And like I said earlier, possibly up to 40 fucking people. In August of 1911, Linda was arrested on charges related to the starvation of Claire Williamson. And the following January, the trial started.
Oof.
Nurses and other staff testified that the sisters were treated badly, saying that they would cry out in pain during treatments, experiencing hours-long enemas, and scalding hot baths.
Ugh.
She also starved them financially by draining any and all of their assets, and she never took responsibility for any death she caused because she's a giant cuntosaurus. Linda is a true, I don't even know, I think a true psychopath, but She thought that the trial was because they were attacking her as a successful woman. Like this was a witch hunt.
Oh.
Because Linda did seemingly believe her shit to some degree. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of her really loyal followers believed in her practice and were, diehard until the end. They all would reference back to fasting being used for health and spiritual development to defend her, saying that ancient Greeks used fasting as a form of purification.
Oh my God.
And biblical icons, including Jesus, use fasting as a spiritual power or way of connecting with a higher being, which I think happens a lot in churches still today, right?
Oh.
They call it fasting, but it's actually called starvation. It's not that cool. Cotton Mather thought prayer and fasting would solve the Salem witchcraft epidemic, which I actually really think we should talk about one day.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, just pray and fast the evil witchery away. And we all saw how that went. Spoiler, not awesome. I love this. She was sentenced to 2 to 20, which is a big old fucking gap, years in prison for what she did at her sanitarium. She served her time at the Washington State Penitentiary and received a verdict of, get this, manslaughter.
What?
I
What?
Can't make this up.
I am speechless over this.
They had plenty of evidence against her, medical testimonies, paper trails from all of her patients, etc. But this bitch served the minimum 2 years.
Oh my God.
I know. It's so cuckoo.
I pulled up a picture of her, and I also found a picture of Dorothea Williamson, like right before she got rescued. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
She's like a skeleton in a chair. But the picture of Linda when she gets arrested, she's like smiling.
She's a fucking psycho.
Yeah, she's got a big old smile on her face as she gets arrested. Like, yeah, I just killed 40 people. Like, no big deal.
And there's nothing, less creepy than people smiling in arrest photos. Super fucking creepy.
Yeah.
So this hoe was released on parole on December 26th, 1915. And the following year, the governor, Ernest Lister, gave her a full pardon.
What?
Although there was never given a reason for why he did this.
What?
Was this bitch fucking hypnotizing people? Was it witchcraft? Maybe it's Maybelline.
I
I don't know. What
know.
the fuck? Did she have beer coming out of her nipples and she was having all of the people suck on the teats? I don't know. What the fuck?
No, probably not beer, because beer would go against the starvation.
But I mean, she's trying to, get the governor and whatnot on her side.
Jesus.
So whatever they want, I'm sure she could make that come out of her nipples and hook it up, because why did she kill so many people and then get 2 years and then get a full pardon?
Wacky. That's crazy.
The fuck? After her prison sentence, Linda and Sam moved to New Zealand, where she operated as a physician, osteopath, and dietitian.
Oh my God. What?
If you don't know what osteopathy is, it emphasizes physical manipulation of the body's muscle tissue and bones. So trying to move people's bones around. Then old Linda published another book.
Of course she did.
Resulting in her making a significant amount of money.
Oh, excellent. That's wow.
By 1920, Linda moved back to Olalla and built another fucking sanitarium, which I just don't understand how the fuck.
What?
Well, she had been fully pardoned, so I guess it was fine.
Let's just start over. Starvation take 2.
Yeah. She again did not have a medical license and labeled it as a school of health because I guess you could be a teacher and that's fine.
Right. So she wasn't grandfathered anymore under the whole you don't have to be a qualified doctor thing because it's been like, what, 8 years or whatever.
I don't know, dude. She's probably just trying a different fucking avenue.
Whoa.
She continued to supervise fasts and starve people to death until it all burned to the ground in 1935, after which she did not rebuild. All that is left today is a 7-foot tall concrete tower and the ruins of the building's foundation.
Well, good. I'm glad that it burned down.
Yeah. In Linda's early 70s, she became sick and immediately started a fasting diet to cure herself.
I'm sure. And she died of starvation.
Are you reading my notes?
No, I just put 3 and 8 together and
Kind of full circle, you know? It's kind of cool that she fucking ended up doing it to herself.
yeah.
And what's cute is that you can still buy her books today in both physical and downloadable versions.
What?
So make sure to pick that up, you guys. Anything by Dr.
Hazard.
Dr. Hazard. Good stuff.
So my wild bingo boards,
Yeah.
I did all 3 of them.
Wow.
I lit up cult bingo. I didn't get a bingo, but I got 20 out of 25 squares.
Damn.
I did get fucked up bingo. I got a bingo.
Oh my God.
And then on murder bingo, I opened it back up and I lit it up without a bingo. Like she covered all 3 bingos. I think it was just where the tiles were placed. I probably would have had bingo on all 3.
Dude.
Yeah. So this covered every base we have. Cults and murder and other fucked up stuff.
This story's the epitome of the show.
There you are.
This fucking cunt.
Wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good vintage story sometimes.
Yeah.
And that it was, I mean, almost as vintage as they come.
Maybe we need to put a gold title on the vintage stories, you know, like the ones that are like hundreds of years old.
Girl, there are so many titles for our types of episodes. There's 5 right now, and there's going to be 6, maybe 7.
Vintage throwbacks.
You know what? Woo! Squirrel. What?
Anyway.
So next week, you guys, get ready because we have something a little bit more current and very unsolved, mysterious as shit. Little clue, it happened in Panama
Yeah.
and some young girls went missing. Very sad story. So get ready for that.
Yeah.
But then we do have a women's history episode coming up that I'm very excited about. Starting next month, we are taking a couple weeks off of That's So Fucked Up Presents. We did an extended season on psychotic psychology. So we are taking off the rest of March and then coming back in April with really fucking like weird cults that I have not named this season yet. So lots of good stuff coming up, you guys. Join the Discord. Check out the Patreon. We have a free version if you don't want to take the leap.
Try the free one and then, you know, take the leap when you're ready.
Yeah. Patreon.com/TSFU. We've got book club coming up soon. We have an Easter episode coming up, which is going to be pretty fun. Me and Crystal, we're going to break down Easter in our fashion.
Like the Bible Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to skip a little bit.
We're not going to talk about like Easter eggs and the bunny and stuff. I don't know when that all came up.
I'm going to skip to that part of the Bible.
Yeah, but I mean, then we're going to rewind back to where we were after. But, you know,
Yeah.
got to throw out some fucking Easter goodness.
It's a good idea. It's a sad story. Get ready. Super fun.
Oh, is it? No?
No.
You know what, though? Me and Crystal will make it fun.
Yeah. Ultimately, like the story in the Bible that's behind Easter is a very sad story. Like if you think of Jesus as like a man, just another man.
Okay, but have you read the Bible? The whole thing is a super giant bummer.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets happy at some point, but I'm not.
Really. And then you get to the very end and some guy goes on an acid trip and talks about the end of the world. And they're like, let's just put this super fun epilogue on where.
Is that Revelations?
Yeah.
Oh, That's where so many apocalyptic cults come from. That's like David Koresh.
I smoked a bunch of opium. I went to bed. I had a wild dream and I wrote it down and submitted it to the Bible committee. And there it is. Not really, but I mean, it's like that.
Yeah, basically. Man, this was wild. If you guys haven't finished catching up with That's So Fucked Up Presents Psychotic Psychology yet, get on it, y'all. It's such a kooky, fun, but like fucked, you know, how we do.
Yeah. And Discord, because like we love to talk to everyone and we don't just talk about the podcast. We talk about all sorts of shit.
We actually talk about the podcast
Very little. There's one small channel.
We talk more so about like Nickelback and Crocs and Vanderpump Rules and like showing each other pictures of our pets and like the weather
And our faces.
and mental health support.
Right.
You know, it's good. It's so good, you guys. So thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. And you know what, Fallon? That was real as fuck.
And real fucked up.
Yeah. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bum 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 bum. That's fucked up. I'm so fucked up. Can't you see? It's just really fucked. That's fucked up.